Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, PDF folks. It's your man on page, all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. We got a new weekend, folks. It's another Sunday. I got my Doc Holiday on. I'm in my prime, sir. So that's who I am. I'm Doc Holiday. I'm the Southern gentleman, And we have here's a lovely lady, and she's from the West, out the Wild Wild West. She is an IFBB pro figure. Recently, just saw her interview with my man KL the Wanderer. You want to check it out? The link to that interview is in the description of this live stream. You want to follow hers. Also, her links are in the description too. We have the lovely Mrs. Crystal Garcia, and she's been competing for a while. She turned pro in 2022. That was at the North Americans or Nationals?
Nationals.
Nationals. Okay, congratulations there. And she made a debut in 2023. She did both the Arizona Pro and the Legion Sports Festival. And we appreciate the time she gives you. She's a wife, mother, trainer, and also she got 4 kids, man. And she got 4 kids. She looks like that. My mom had 6, and she didn't look that good. So we appreciate the time she's giving us for this interview, and wish her best of luck. And we'll ask you this question, Crystal: what got you started, as I call it, in the sport of muscle and masculinity? Please share.
Yeah. So it was kind of something that was always in the back of my mind. I wanted to get on stage. I wanted to see what it was about. It's intimidating as all hell. I'm not, the heels, the glam, all that's great. But when you get in front of a bunch of people like that, that's kind of intimidating. So I turned 30. After I had my 4th kid, I was like, okay, it's time. I want to challenge myself. I want to feel good. I was always I was an athlete. I played volleyball and cheerleading and what have you, but I was sort of like the skinny girl just with big boobs. And I was done with that. I wanted some more shape. I wanted more confidence, self-esteem on that. So I did it just to say that I did. I hit the mile marker, had a bunch of kids, but I fell in love with it. That first show, I'd never even been to a show. I really didn't know what to expect. But, you go through the prep and you put your body through things that you've never done before. And then the 15 seconds that you get on stage is an incredible feeling. I tell everybody my very favorite part is that first step onto the stage. That's it. That's go time. So I did the first one, and it turned out I was kind of good at it. I was pretty underdeveloped being a newbie, but I ended up winning the overall. So I was like, shit, I kind of like this. I like the people. I think I'm kind of good at it. So I did another show a couple weeks later, and same thing, won the overall there. So the more I got into it, the more I fell in love with the whole culture of it. It's the lifting, it's the diet, it's the discipline, the people. I've made some of my best friends in this sport. It's almost addicting. I was all in from that point. That was it.
Yeah, bodybuilding is, like I said, it's a tough sport. You have to, my interaction with a lot of you ladies who compete, especially in IFB, NPC, there's a lot of sacrifices you got to put into it. And then get it to it at 30, I heard some of our ladies who get into like mid to life when they realize, what, they want to make a change for themselves, physically, or just something that they always wanted to do. What was the first show for you, and what was that experience like, first time on stage, just in front of everybody?
What was funny? I went up to the line, and I had rehearsed this over and over and over. But I walked out from backstage, walked up to the line, and I stood there. I just kind of looked. It was a surreal moment. I was like, I'm up here. I'm doing this. And I completely forgot to pose. So my husband was behind the judges, and he's going, pose, pose. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to do shit. I got to do stuff up here. It really, really was a surreal experience. That first time, I think, I went through my quarter turns, came out and did my routine. I tripped over my feet on the way out. I wasn't really nervous, but I was so excited. I was riding a high the entire time. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, everybody has the experience with your first time doing a show. I know one lady told me that her first time she got a little tipsy because, her nerves. And then, especially if you're someone who's been in a position where you are used to be judged like like sports, like figure skating, even, there's like cheerleading competitions where you get judged, because you was a cheerleader before. And I think that experience is really tough for anybody to get into, especially you're on a stage, you're partially naked, and you got these lights shining on you, and you got these crowd looking at you. You got your husband in the back. He's going, hey, we gotta keep posing, yeah. But that's good that he's there to support you. And We got here my man here, KL the Wanderer. Shout out to him. He just came through. He says this. He says, "Hey George and Crystal. Hey brother." Also,
Hey,
he says, "Keep Crystal, keep up the good work." And that's pretty good. Thank you, brother. Shout out to him. As you know, I said again, the link for the interviews in the description. Watch out live. So, you mentioned your husband. What's his name? How long y'all been together?
oh, his name's Eric, and we're about to celebrate 7 years of marriage in April.
Oh, 7 years. That's nice. When did y'all meet?
Yeah. Oh gosh. All right. So we actually went to middle school together and we ended up going our separate ways. He was married to someone else. I was married to someone else. He went away to the army. I did my thing. We both ended up divorced. Life happens, right? About the same time. He came home on leave to see his best friend, who I was, we weren't dating and hadn't went that far yet, but we were kind of hanging out, seeing if anything was there, right? So he asked his buddy, "What's up with you and Crystal?" And he's like, "Nothing." So that was it. We spent just that evening together with a group of our friends, and he ended up making secret trips home from Colorado to see me out in California because we weren't really ready to share that with friends, and we were kind of working through our own divorce stuff too. So we took it slow. He was gone in the army for the first year and a half. I went out to see him in Germany. It was a really, really unique dating experience, but it worked for us. And he ended up getting out of the army, coming, we'll say, home here to California with me. And that was about 8 years ago now.
Mhm. Well, to your husband, as he served our country, I don't say thank you for your service. I say I appreciate the sacrifice he's made as a citizen for our country. Because I had my oldest niece and my youngest nephew served in the army, and I know family and friends are just tough. Especially, lucky that he got out before y'all got married, because it's tough to be an army spouse since you got to travel here and there, and then kids, they try to get used to being home, and then you're moving around. And he also, I saw that look at social media, also competes. So is he? I know mentioned that he's planning on competing sometime this year, or you think he's going to do next year?
Well, so he did. It's been almost 3 years since he's been on the stage. He's a classic competitor. But we recently acquired a new business in the last year. So his focus has really kind of shifted from bodybuilding to building that up to a healthy point. And it's almost there. He's got some flexibility. So he's training with me again. He's always been my training partner. Um, so he's getting in the gym pretty regularly, 5 days a week, almost every single week. So we're kind of thinking, we're just talking about this, maybe another 18 months or so. He's got some size to put back on. That shift to business, he lost about 20 pounds. So we're building him back up before he gets back on, but it's coming. He'll be back.
Well, like I said, it's a process with bodybuilding. What I've learned, you take the time, to grow. And I know it's important to develop your business and to help in your futures and your family's future. So, what's your business and how long you been doing?
So we've done our online coaching for a long time, but what he's gotten into is metal roofing and seamless gutters. So he's actually acquired his uncle's company, which has been a huge blessing. But as you can imagine, it's time consuming. That's really where his effort has been. I kind of joke with him, he's my sugar daddy right now, so I can keep competing. So it's been a really good shift for our family. But, he just needs the time and attention span to come back to it.
Yeah, it's important to focus on the business. But like I said, bodybuilding is always going to be here. I know people talk about. I have people tell me
Come
that, oh, bodybuilding's going to drop one day, yeah, yeah. But as long as there's people who want to compete and to prove themselves as athletes, the sport's here for you. So, what now? A lot of competitors. Did you start like I know a lot of ladies when they got into it, they said they got into bikini. Was figure your first choice, or did you start out in bikini?
Figure was my first choice. I really never had any interest in bikini. I'm 5'8", and I think I was about 128 pounds when I first started. For reference, I'm 160 today. So I put on a lot of size, and when I first started, I was just kind of a fit girl. I was becoming kind of lean. You could see some muscle in there. And my coach at the time had said, "Do you want to do bikini?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because it doesn't call to me. It doesn't fit my personality. It doesn't fit the way I move. The aesthetics of it, it's just not what I wanted. I wanted a little more muscle mass." And at the time, wellness was relatively new. I do not have a wellness shape. So we kind of skipped right over that figure. It was an easy choice. I really didn't have to put any thought into it.
Yeah, I know with bikini, my opinion of the division, I've interviewed some competing competitors, both amateurs and pros. My opinion of it is like, I mean, it doesn't really excite me like that. You
Not
ladies
to,
in figure,
yeah.
yeah, you
It's
ladies in
got the
figure,
same respect, but it doesn't call to me. I watch it. We've got clients that do it, so we watch them obviously and support them and learn the sport. But it just never grabbed me.
yeah. I know with figure, y'all ladies still have those that great muscle aesthetics. I mean, it's kind of like a throwback to originally when bodybuilding started out. It started
Yes,
out like figure, in
yes.
the early '70s, and it evolved over a period of time to what it is now. Like every sport evolves. Here we got my man Joe Camp coming through. Joe, welcome. He says this. He says, "Hi, Crystal. Hope you are having a great day. Is it
Yes.
possible if we can get a bicep flex? Why are you asking that? I usually,
Uh,
yeah,
and
you don't have to
and put
do
me
it.
in a spot like that.
You don't have to do it. I didn't
Did I
really
do
read
it,
the
George?
whole. That's up to you. I usually if he was new, I just but I usually don't ask for it, but unless you want to, that's up to you.
I'll do it. I'm not shy. I'm not
Yeah,
shy.
go ahead,
All
go
right.
ahead. There you go, guys. There you go, Joe. You got your bicep flex. Okay, now you put away your lotion, your tissue, you're good. So, so also we got here from our man KL. He says this. He says bikini is a little bit like vanilla ice cream. You want to add some flavors. Yes,
Okay, like that.
maybe put a little rocky road on it. Put a little nuts. A little chocolate, something like that. But like I said, everybody finds that division that works for them
Yeah.
and really helps them in their process. And also, many athletes have evolved. Like there's some ladies who started out in bikini, they go to figure, and they go up to physique, and even go as far as women's bodybuilding. And as you know, wellness. One thing about division, if you don't have those strong Afro aesthetics, the bigger hips, the thicker thighs, it's a lot harder for some women because
Yeah.
you got to put a lot more work in that one, especially the leg part of it. They want that presentation like top of like a bikini competitor, but a little bit bottom of like maybe physique or women's bodybuilding.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It just I don't have that build. I'm not the, bigger waist, bigger hips, those beautiful quads and glutes. I've had to work really hard for my glutes and they're still not wellness glutes.
Yeah, no, it's tough. So you did nationals. What was that feeling for you when, after all this time competing, they told you you're now IFBB pro?
You know, I talked a little bit about this with Ed, and sometimes I get embarrassed when I look back at the video because I was so focused. When I'm up there, I'm dialed, and internally, I'm loving it. I'm having the time of my life. There's nowhere else I would rather be. But I'm also very diligent and intentional about what I'm doing. So when I'm on stage, I'm just focused, man. I'm on go mode. So we're up there in the line, and when they called my number, it took me a second to go, holy crap, I just won my class. I just beat 16 people in my class. Whoa, okay. And so my face is almost very stoic because I just hadn't really accepted that that just happened. I was still working. So I almost look pissed off. That's where it's kind of embarrassing. And in my heart, I'm just exploding. But it was a moment I didn't really know what to feel. I didn't know how to react. So I just, okay, let's go. Let's go get the medal. So now I'm a lot more comfortable on stage, and I don't know what kind of reaction I would have with the win now, but hopefully it's not quite as business like.
Well, everybody's experience is different. I've seen ladies who, especially they compete for a long time, competing to try to get to the IFBB, they feel like it's like the greatest thing that ever happened to them. They can break down and cry. Everybody has a different feeling because you know what, you put in the work and the time to get to this level. And I've interviewed some ladies who turned pro recently, and were just so excited about it because this is opportunity for them. They worked hard to get here, and you know what? Everybody's going to have a different feeling or experience. It's not going to be the same for one person next, but it can be overwhelming. But also, it's just you feel like I accomplished something that most people won't be able to do because it's tough. We have here my man KL. Shout out to KL. He says this. He says, he says, nobody is forcing you, Crystal, but I, But you, good flex. He is like see the flexing. It's my
Love
man
it.
Stefan Prey coming through. He says, "Good afternoon. Are you competing this season?" Oh, thank you, Stefan. That's a question. So,
Well,
what's the plan this season? Are you because it's been about 2 years since you last competed, and almost
yeah.
3 years since you got your pro card. So, what's the plan for 2025?
So my coach Shane and I decided to take Shane Hughley. We took a long off season. Then we had to bring up a lot of weakness, whole posterior really, but we put a lot of emphasis on my back. So tentatively, up until 2 days ago, we were going to launch with Legion Sports Fest on June 1st. However, they just put out the divisions and there's no figure at Legion this year. So I know I was heartbroken. I love that show. I love Chris Menes. I'm partial to Center Podium. And I was like, what? I text Shane and I'm like, look at this. Can you believe this? And I really wanted to text Chris, but I didn't. So now I don't know. We originally had plans to hit maybe 4 or 5 shows, and I think we'll still do that. Um, Shane wants to be strategic in where we're going. So truthfully, I really don't know yet. I haven't started any cardio or cut calories or anything. We're just kind of cruising right now. So we'll see. We'll see. I've got a few ideas that I'll kind of float with him this week, but nothing solid on the table.
That's a shocker because I know they dropped Wayne Physique from the Legion because I interviewed Yvonne Pennington, who she was the last physique competitor won it. She won it back in 2022, her Olympic
Okay.
qualification. I interviewed the day before, and then she posted that they dropped Wayne Physique. But I didn't get figure. I mean, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, I just I don't know what's going on. As you know, I talk about this because I do talk about. I might even talk about this on my. I do a podcast on Monday. Most talk Mondays. I might mention it. I have interviewed a few figure competitors here and there. The last one competitor was a lady who you both earned your pro card same year. That's Kaylee Walker.
Yeah.
Back in nationals, I interviewed her, and that's just wow. I mean, as you know, back in I think it was like almost 3-4 years ago, they did drop figure from the Arnold Classic,
I
physique
remember.
and figure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know because I remember, because when they dropped physique, Sarah Vigors wanted to pay the sanction fees and the prize money for it. So you can't say it's about money because if you can dig up $2,000 or $3,000 to pay the guy who's going to win men's open, you can't say it's
Yeah.
about money. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I know I went through and counted last year. I think there was 42 figure shows stateside. This year we're at I think 30 or 31. So numbers are declining. When I competed at Legion, I had 26 figure competitors on stage with me. Last year there was 11. And I know Chris has shifted the dates a little bit. Traditionally, it's more in the September, October range. And I think that was in hopes of it not lining so much with Olympia and giving the pros some time to make some adjustments before Olympia, get better feedback, things like that. But to completely drop the division, I don't know. It's got to be a numbers game. Chris always does incredible production. So I trust that he knows what he's doing. But personally, that it's a great show, man. And I'm seeing every year less figure competitors, less figure shows. So that's we'll see what direction it's going in. But yeah,
I think we figure you have more shows, truthfully, compared to women's physique, bodybuilding, just maybe a few shy of like wellness and bikini. And most definitely the lowest one is fitness. And
yeah,
I think one thing, yeah, I had a friend of mine. His name is Big Keith Williams. He made his return after taking some time off, medical issues. My brother had surgery yesterday. Shout out to him, last week. Shout out to my brother Big Keith. He's going to be out alive tomorrow. And he talked to Chris. And one point there, that there was a couple of ladies that worked for Wings of Strength. And Wings of Strength, they're the ones who promote. Jake owns it. Excuse me, Crystal. I gotta say this every time I say his name. Yo, Jake. I want that money. I want that gun. Mr. Jake Wood. I'm a fan of the man. He saved women's bodybuilding when it was
yeah,
almost like just like with like as I is my one of my favorite movies is Batman Begins. And there's a scene where Ra's al Ghul, played by Liam Neeson, says to Bruce Wayne, played by Christian Bale, says, "Or take out an enemy. You walk behind quietly and stab him in the heart." and that's how it feels. At one point, I thought they might try to add women's bodybuilding because my man talked to Chris says a couple thousand, $220,000. That's enough to cover sanctioning fees and prize money and stuff like that. And I felt like it was Alex Costa and another lady. I thought maybe they might try to look at that show because they have a great kind of like all sorts of like all sorts of facts. They had a great sports eventing. So like you see nights and stuff,
Well,
wrestling and
Expo, yeah.
Expo. Yeah, his little boy, his little boy's like he's 3 years old and he get little toys and like that and they can play. That would have been a great show for added women's bodybuilding. But we all know, I think there's a lot of politics and money involved with the sport of bodybuilding.
Yes, there is. Yes,
Yeah.
there is. There's a ton.
Yeah. Yeah. So, folks, while we got here, Crystal here, we're going to jump into her IG for a little bit. If you want to follow her, the link to her IG is in the description of this live. Also, if you're interested in watching the interview she did with my man KL, it's also there. Check it out. But guys, and I show this as a disclaimer, guys, no weird stuff. This is a nice lady. She has a husband. She got 4 kids. I don't want to hear somebody come busting the door and say, "You see that shit to my wife?" No, we don't want that problem. Be respectful, guys. I say it like this, guys. You get more with a skilled glove than an iron fist. I know what you do in that iron fist. So we're gonna jump into her social media for a bit. And I remember her last interview here said, "This is old. It's not old. It's old to you, but it's new to us." So
I know. When you scroll down, you can see the changes. It gets a little like, oh, don't look at that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you have a nice body. You really worked hard. Like at your last show, which was Leaders, what was critique from the judges?
More posterior. They want more depth in my back, more detail in my back, which we expected. I knew that was coming. So that's, again, something we really worked a lot on this off season. And I'm excited to see what's under there. We've made a lot of changes. I want to peel back the layers and see the fruits of the work we put in.
Yeah. I know most definitely with the figure division, you have to have that. I know, ladies and gentlemen, you have to have that Dorito shape, upside Dorito, the wide shoulders, broadness. The back is very important because many competitors tell me that the back can make or break how you place at a show. It can be from winning Olympic qualification to getting your pro card. And you look like you're doing pretty good. When you're working out, what's your favorite exercise? That one you just love to do during the day, and the other one you say, "Damn, I don't want to do this shit."
So shoulders right now, I am loving shoulder day, and I always have. It doesn't require quite as much effort as legs or even my back day is really heavy volume. Shoulders hands down is my favorite. I love to press. I've always been relatively good at it, so that's always makes it more enjoyable. My back days, I'm so sick of rowing, man. I think I have 6 different variations of rows in my program right now, and they're working. It's a love-hate. They're definitely productive. They're doing the job, but I'm so sick of rowing my life away. But it is what it is. I'm very monotonous. So I've had the same program for quite some time, and every single day I go into the gym and my workout and I still pull it up to make sure I'm checking the boxes of every workout exactly as it's written with intensity every single time. It's not like I don't know the sequence, but there's something about it when I bring it up and go, okay, that's done. What's next? Okay, that's done. What's next?
And you mentioned your coach, and that's Shane Hughley, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, Hughley.
I think I heard his name. I think he works with quite a few pros and other competitors. How long y'all been working together? When did you meet him?
I've been with Shane a couple years now. After I got my pro card, my husband actually coached me all the way to my pro card. And after that, we decided together really that we're in the big leagues now and we need some help kind of navigating, getting better, getting leaner. We really did everything that he knew how to do. And he kind of just wanted to be husband. He wanted to come to the show. He's always going to be stressed. He's always going to be on edge. He literally knows my body better than I do, but he wanted to hand the reins off and let someone else take that stress and kind of drive and just be more of a supporting role, a training partner. He does really, really well helping me navigate through the emotional stress of this, because that's the hard part. It's not the training. It's not the diet. Posing is a little bit of a kryptonite for me, but really it's the mental piece of all this. So I kind of get two coaches. I get my emotional coach, and then I get Shane for everything else. It's a win-win, really.
That's good. I know quite a few couples that start off like clients and coaching, and then eventually you want that coach to bring in something that other person might miss that you don't
Yeah,
see. But
exactly.
sometimes, and then sometimes you can be a bit prejudiced when it comes to especially if it's your wife or your girlfriend that you're coaching. Here's this from an event you did a while back. You're doing all the
Yeah,
posing.
the
You know,
top.
you told him to do right there. So
I love this moment. It was probably definitely one of top two, if not three, highlights of my entire career. I had so much fun. I love classic physique, and I got to go up there and kind of showcase my love for all the bodybuilding divisions. I was the only one that knew all the poses Chris was calling out. I was loving it, man. That was so fun.
yeah, I mean it's fun. Especially when you lay to the pose. Showing off your bodies, representing yourself. People. This is the thing about people, especially the people who don't follow the sport, who are not, who just they look at it. Especially when you look at women with muscle, they feel like, why is she having all these muscles? Like, and I know it's a different look compared to any other woman. Like I said, one thing I'll say like this. Always debate is about femininity in bodybuilding. And one thing for me saying what makes you feminine is your mother with 4 kids. And that's anything feminine. Everything else is just you being an athlete. You've been an athlete for most of your life. And you mentioned that we mentioned about 4 kids. How old are your babies? And what's the names?
So I've got Carmen's the baby. She's 5. We have
Uh,
Taylor, who's 6. And then the next one is Bristol. She'll turn 11 next month. And my oldest is Haley, who is almost 16.
ooh, you got
Right.
hey, you get those teenagers. You can get my mom. You gotta beat them down. You gotta beat them down. So you gotta put them in place. Hey, they might. Especially if I say you have all girls.
All girls, man. All of them.
All girls.
I,
Whoa. I feel sorry
my
for your husband. He's
yeah. He's a little
he
outnumbered.
got all those women. I say, yeah. I say like, I know he's coming. He sometimes I gotta go. I need a man cave. He's someplace I can go.
Yeah, yeah. He's out in the
So
garage getting some space from all of us.
yeah. That's the thing is, I grew up. My mother had to raise us. My parents were together for 55 years, even though my dad was living in New Jersey and we're still here in North Carolina. And I have 3 older sisters. I have an older brother. He passed away. My father had another brother before he married my mom, and also had my younger brother. And I grew up with my 2 nephews. We were, they're my nephews. They were like my brothers.
Sure.
And it's good that you have a relationship with your children, like especially your oldest. I mentioned that. Has she any aspiration, or is she athletic like her mother?
She is. I have to admit, I think if there was anything I could see her taking a liking to, it's actually CrossFit. She does some weight training in school instead of a traditional PE class. It's a women's weight training class, which, oh, my heart, I was so excited when she chose that. But she's kind of gotten into the Olympic lifting, some overhead presses, things that I don't know how to do. That's not my modality at all. That and track. So, 2 things that I don't like, she's phenomenal at: CrossFit and running.
I'm a big man. If I have to run, I'm in trouble. I got 2 bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. My running days are done. Like I said, I just turned 50 about a couple of months ago, and if somebody comes chase after me, say, "Hey, you might as well just kill me. I'm done. I'm not.
I'll just take it easy. Let me sit down.
I'm just like, but I tried. Like one point was, I tell these people this is a true story about me. I was at one point 500 pounds because I was taking care of my mom for a long time. I do that for almost 6 years, and when she passed away, I decided, you know what, it's time to take care of me. And while I take care of her, do this content about you ladies. Especially, I'm gonna admit my crime, and KL knows it, and these guys know it. I'm a muscle purge smell. I've been a fan of female bodybuilding since I was. My older brother used to play football here in our hometown. He used to get the muscle max. I grew up with, you had like Lee Haney and you had Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
and those guys. The biggest, this is before your time, the most biggest cartooners around, especially what He-Man or Thundercats. Then y'all women, especially I was getting hot about my progressive years. Something about y'all just, exciting. It just sometimes it just make me. What doesn't
You
make you
got it.
stranger?
I
Make you
like it.
stronger. But doing this content, I get to learn stuff. Like when we try to do interviews and hear your stories about how after 30, you want to change your life and find yourself something. You get into bodybuilding, and most people in the mainstream don't understand the sport because it's not as popular. Like, like, is there anybody in the sport that you follow that you're a fan of?
Jessica Padilla, Autumn Cleveland, in terms of figure, obviously Sydney, but that's a given. Autumn's probably one of my top favorites. Shalay Shoemaker. There's a handful. Yeah.
I know it's like I know I follow Autumn Cleveland. She just got married a while back. Jessica Reyes Padilla, you both were at Legions together because
Yeah.
back in 2023, multiple times. And as you know, you just saw recently, Missy Trescott is switching over from
Knew it.
fitness to figure.
Man, I knew it was coming. She posted something months before she announced that. And I think it was a cutesy note from her husband or something about a new chapter. And I went, oh, Missy's coming to figure. She's coming.
Yeah, I know debate that maybe she should do physique if she ever think about it, but I think she's not interested in it. But this is a picture I want to pull it quick. Yeah, I did we did talk about Missy a while back, and also compared to her to the current champ, Sarah Vilgas. And if you look these two women, even though the X frame and everything is different, there could be a possibility that maybe if she might jump over to women's physique.
She could, I think, maybe with some depth and just thickness overall. As figure competitors, we're a little undersized as we should be for physique, but with a little muscle mass, her training style has got to be entirely different. If she's not incorporating any fitness routines, I would imagine she's all focused on putting on that lean muscle, and that's probably new territory for her, at least in recent years. Probably respond pretty well. Be kind of exciting to see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she wanted to take a step back, especially after the injury she had back in 2023 at Olympia. That was tough. I mean, I remember somebody sent me, links to George, check this out. Say, what's happened? What's happened? Say, this happened at the Olympia. I say, wow, oh my God, and I follow on social media, and it's tough because I know of ladies who have done fitness and switched over to other divisions because maybe we need time to heal or recover from injuries. I know, Jessica Reyes Padilla also had a minute in physique. And if you look at divisions now, it really has evolved over time. You look at how when physique started, it was supposed to be a replacement for women's bodybuilding. And me as a fan, I wasn't a fan of the division. I called it watered down women's bodybuilding. But now, it's an evolution step for any competitor. Like instead of you start in bikini, you might want to do wellness, you might want to do figure, do physique. One person who I'm a fan of who has did 3 divisions in her pro as a pro, and that is Ashley Jones. And
Yeah.
and she amazing physique, was figure, did physique, and now she's number 3 in the world in women's bodybuilding. And then another lady who I'm a fan of who kind of saved the division, and that is Andrea Shaw.
I love her.
Okay. I want to show you something. I love doing this, Crystal. I want to show you something. A friend of mine, her name is Eunice Kitchen. She runs Bad Rap. She was at the Olympia 2023. She got me this issue of muscle development. And what makes it special for me, what keeps me going to do what I'm doing, she signed it.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I just, I love her.
Keep close all the time.
Yes, if somebody keeps saying they need to put it into a frame, but I don't know,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
too
it's just, yeah. But learn from y'all ladies and hear your stories. You have to have a passion for this sport because it's a very expensive sport. Compared to like this is the debate we have. Like with the men, it costs them more because they have to train and prep and supplements and stuff like that. But for you ladies, your cost is just maybe a little bit more because especially for show day, where you have to get your hair done, your makeup, your jewelry, your shoes. Right there, you got to wear the shoes, your
yeah.
posing suit. I mean, not just see the guys just got to wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts.
Yeah, I think I spent $60 on my husband's briefs in a tan. That was about it.
Yeah. And and that's the thing is that you have to do the sport as a passion. You have to understand the factors go into it, like the dieting, the training. I know with your kids, you wish you spend more time with them, but then when you got to be, do like go to your next gym training. Maybe like I know Shane, y'all do like remote coaching because you don't get to see him too much because you live far off. And those things that I think a lot of people don't understand, especially for a woman.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a hard juggle because my family is always going to be my first priority above everything. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I still have a house to run, and then there's business and training. But I've tried to find ways to incorporate the kids to it. I'm really selective on the words that I use. We work on being strong and healthy. And yes, I wear the small bikini and the heels and all the things, but it's part of the judging. We really try and take the sex appeal out of it because they're all girls and keep it very, very health and fitness focused. And I just make them part of it. They're all playing soccer. So when they're at soccer practice, I'm doing my cardio. They are raised in a gym. My 5-year-old, literally, George, her favorite food is broccoli, chicken, and rice because that's what's normal to her. She doesn't know any different. We don't, it's a lifestyle and our whole family's part of it. They're no exception. They're just part of the run.
It's good. I mean, that's the tough part about, especially the diet part about, because most children does not
Mhm.
want to eat broccoli and rice and fried chicken. They like chicken nuggets, mac and cheese, a
Yeah.
piece of cake. Have the little snacks. But it's quite a few ladies who I've talked to who have kids. They tell me, yeah, the kids, some of the kids, or hey, they don't problem eating what mom eats. But
Yeah.
generally, most don't want to be like, Mom, I don't want to eat what you eat. I cook me some. I just did posted a video of a lady I did an interview with. Back, her kids be like, they want to eat what you eat. So then her husband said, I want pot roast. Kids might want lasagna. But as a mother, she said, you know what? Let me do both and cook my foods
Yeah.
too. And that's the thing that's the thing about being a dedicated person and a dedicated mother and wife. It's a lot to this and to maintain a family and to take care of kids. And also you mentioned about things, taking the sex appeal out of it. Because that's a tough part about that. Especially you gotta think about it. As I said in my crime again, I'm a mustard pear smell. And I know the guys out there, when we go to the shows and we go to you see y'all ladies on the stage and y'all pumped up and y'all shiny with your oil and your tan. We see that, we get a little excited. But
Beautiful.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. But for you to understand, to get to that,
Mhm.
to pretty much to be nearly dehydrated, to be hungry, to starve yourself, hours of training, in and out of the gym.
Yeah.
There's so much more to what we see. And that's the thing is that's why I think a lot of people can't do what you do. Is you were talking with KL about the fit model thing, and here's my sense of it. Falling bottom is like I have. You're bringing in another division that's just going to evolve instead of just solving the problems, which is really with the judging of the
Yeah.
other divisions. You're just bringing in something that's just going to end up evolving just like the last.
Right.
It's just
Exactly.
you're not really helping it. I know you want to bring in people to get more attention to it, but you're really just going to have another division that end up becoming like the figure girls are going to look more like physique competitors now. The bikini girls are looking more like the figure girls now, and then this division fit model it will be long before it looks like more like what you're going to see currently in bikini.
It's just what happens. It's the nature of the sport. We keep getting leaner and harder. And I know I talked a little bit about this with Ed. They tried to reel it back in and it didn't work. It didn't work. They tried to really judge based off of the criteria that's written versus what's actually in front of them. So I appreciate the effort, but you're right. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to evolve into what bikini is today, just like bikini already did. Look at those glutes and capped shoulders. It didn't start like that. That's not what it was. That's not what do they say in the description? I think it's swimsuit model. That's not a swimsuit model. It's just evolved.
Yeah. Here's the thing I say about that division. I call it no offense to competitors, no offense to them, but I call it invasive species. It wasn't traditionally here. Like if you look at the other divisions, you look at it started women's bodybuilding, and women's bodybuilding started like almost like figure first. Then it
Mhm.
evolved. Then here comes fitness that spin off of women's bodybuilding. Here comes figure that spin off of fitness, and then here comes physique because they wanted those same criteria. They wanted to throw back to like the classic Linda Murray or those or Corey Everson look. But if you look at it now, you know, it's just I think also judge they judge by what they see.
Mhm.
But if the criteria is particularly you don't want girls to have styrated glutes, you don't want the girls to have round cap shoulders, then you should penalize those competitors. And
Exactly.
like one example, like I watched Olympia, Sarah Vegas. I respect what she did. I'm not a big fan, but I respect what she's doing. She's not a standard for in physique.
Mhm.
And and if it was, in my opinion, it should have been Sharonka Hinton that should have won last year.
Oh,
You know,
interesting. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
because she has more of the classic look.
Yes.
Nice width. Nice physique. Not too like. I saw this video that Sarah posted on her IG when she's like, I think, look like she's backstage and tan, and she was shredded to the bone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
She
was
was.
crazy. Yeah, you
Yeah.
saw the video too.
Yep. She was absolutely peeled. And it's beautiful. It's incredibly hard to get that lean. Our bodies don't want to do that. So all respect to her by all means. But again, is that what the division was designed for? Not really. We're pushing the limits pretty hard.
Yeah, but like I said, as any athlete, it's always pushing next, like how every sport changes from boxing to football, And this thing with everybody who looks at bodybuilding, everybody always says like this: it's all the steroids and this and then the gear and on and then
Yeah.
no. From my conversation with your ladies, and somebody said this, George, they tell me this: if I give somebody the same thing I take when I get ready for prep, when I get ready for a show day, it wouldn't work unless they follow the diet or the workouts and the rest and recovery. You just can't take anything and just come in like a bodybuilder. You have to,
Oh,
be work, be disciplined, and stay consistent.
yeah. It's a tool like anything else. And it's not a magic pill. It's not a magic shot. It doesn't work just because you take it. It's the last step when your diet is perfect and your training is, I don't think your training is ever perfect, but when your training is as dialed as you're capable of getting it, sure, then you're ready for the next step. But it's not that misconception. It actually used to frustrate me pretty bad because it doesn't work that way. That's not just because you take something, you're not going to all of a sudden step on stage with these big, beautiful shoulders. That's not how it works. And that's just, the ignorance of general public and not knowing. I was like that. I had no idea. Just
Yeah.
ignorance. You don't know.
Yeah, I think that's why I think people need to educate themselves about bodybuilding, but because it's a very extreme sport, and that's where bikini came in. Said again, because of the extreme culture of the sport and how it has evolved, it's the reason why it changed.
Hmm.
But when you don't sit down and just hear from what this person said, but not just asking, okay, talk to a bodybuilder, reach out to somebody. Hey, tell me what got you into it. What you got to do, this and that. Just be educated. It's just you just can't just be ignorant and just say make assumptions. Because like I said, steroids and everything. You look at it, and I do content. I used to do content on women in mixed martial arts, MMA,
Yeah.
and I've seen ladies who got busted for taking steroids. It's not the same muscle level. It's only used for help with like issues which you have like inflammation in your bones and your joints. It does help you build size. There's a lot more to it than just getting big and huge.
Right.
But most people, they just, and it's like one thing, they demonize bodybuilding more, but there's more use in, like, you look at like just the Olympics was just a while back, last year. There's been competitors who've been busted for using. And I remember this social scientist said like this: if you ask a group of athletes, especially Olympic level athletes, if you can take a pill and it can make you run faster, farther, jump higher. You can win medals and set records. Would you take it? And it said yes, but here's the outcome of it. You can lose 5 years of your life. Would you still do it? And that's what it says. Say yes.
Hmm. I think it's just understanding the risk and benefits of it all and using it correctly. A lot of people overuse it, not just in bodybuilding, it's a performance enhancing drug. That's across the board. We use it for aesthetics, but performance applies to any athlete, any sport. But yeah, you have to use it as safe as you possibly can. Check your bloods. If you have the ability to have it monitored by a doctor, by all means. My husband just had a very close friend and one of his old training partners. He actually died about 3 months ago
I'm so
from
sorry.
really, really poor PED use. And we watched him do it for years. We counseled him. We got on his ass. We loved him. We really tried to, man, what are you doing? And at 38 years old, went to sleep and didn't wake up. Autopsy showed that's exactly what it was from, overuse of PEDs for years, years. There's not a lot of good information out there, so people kind of gym bro it. That's what we call it, just your gym bro cycle, things that make absolutely no sense that you shouldn't be using if you're not a competitor. And even then, you don't need that much. People overuse it, man, and they're paying for it. And like you said, it kind of gives the sport a bad rap. Oh, it's steroids and meatheads, and they have no education and aren't well spoken, and all of these things. It's just simply not true. It's just not
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, it's just people just going with what they hear, but media don't really educate the people the truth on it, and some people don't want to take truth because everybody like information like right now, nah, blah blah blah, and that's it. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, after that, that's serious stuff. That's really serious. Tell me something, Crystal. I often ask you ladies this, especially as you're on your diets, and you got the babies around the house, and they like your snacks, and what's that thing, especially after your last show. What's that thing that was calling you, Crystal? What's that thing that I often said is that makes you stranger, but makes you
All right.
stronger?
That's an easy one. So my after a show, after nationals, for instance, those little Debbie brownies with the cosmic brownie sprinkles on them?
I heard those, yeah.
Yeah, that is my favorite thing in the entire world. I love them. I don't keep them in
Ooh.
the house. I don't give them to the kids. But after nationals, I had 2 boxes of those in my backpack for the flight home, which Florida to California is a long flight, and I downed almost both boxes. That chewy brownie. Bodybuilding aside, I've never been a condiment person. I don't like fried food. My diet's always been pretty plain, except for a good chewy brownie or cookie, ice cream. I'm a junk food junkie, man.
I'm telling you, being a fat man, even though I'm like lost a lot of weight, I still have my addiction. Like, my nephew got me a thing of Oreo cookies yesterday afternoon. I ate just about half of them, but I
Yeah.
still, what I do, I cooked me I had a little mac and cheese, some carrots, and some chicken, baked chicken. But still, there's things like one of my favorites. If I love sugar too, like I buy a thing of donut sticks, the little baby donut sticks. They
Oh,
taste
yeah.
great, especially you warm them. Yeah, I love those. But also another thing I love is like I hadn't had it in a while. Is Chinese food. I mean,
Oh,
there's a place over. It's like the next town over. I'm like 2 miles from South Carolina border, and
okay.
there's a Chinese restaurant there. They do buffet. I remember a while back, me, my sister, and my nephew went. We had to go over check with my great niece because he had to drop some off to that's his daughter, and we stopped by this place. And I got myself a big plate, and I just say, you know what? I'm not gonna eat. I know I'm not gonna eat it all in one day, so I ate half of it one day, ate the other half the other day. It's just it's just sometimes it tastes good. I know that's not what they actually eat. That's what they feed us, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just
But it's great for
you
us.
know, yeah. Because I know when I talk to you, a lot of bodybuilders are foodies, but some people have to deal with issues with food, especially if you're bulimic or you're anorexic. But that's the thing about it. People forget also the food is part of the process of growing. I know your coach, he has a plan set for you, and working on things. That's a good thing you have a good relationship with your coach because most people, understand is that sometimes some coaches will give you a plan that's like a cookie cutter plan. I keep saying this. I know ladies who work with a coach that work with men, and then they give them the same thing that a man does. But men and women, we are biologically different. Where I said, we're the same race but different species. You can say genders, but I say species. But it's just you have to find things that work with you. And I know your coach understands you and your body, and you understand how far you want to go, or how you want to take this sport for yourself.
How far do I want to take it? So I'm pretty realistic. I try and be as objective as I can. I'm not going to be Miss Olympia. I got in the game too late. It's just not in the cards for me. I'm cool with that. If I make it to Olympia and get dead last, that's the highlight of my career. If I can be Olympia qualified, there's nothing better realistically for me. I'm 36. I can hit Masters Olympia in 4 years. So that's definitely on the table. I want to get to Masters Olympia. If I can get an O qualification, then that's the highlight. Obviously, I've shared this with Shane, and his response was encouraging. He is not a fluff and puff guy. That's part of the reason I like him so much. He's very straightforward, gives it to me straight. I respond really well to that versus the, well, you're doing really well. I don't like that. Just give it to me. And he seems pretty confident that an O qualification could happen a handful of years down the road. So those two things are a career highlight, hands down.
Yeah. I've been pro for about a couple of years, and I've known some ladies who have competed for a long time for the get the old qualification. And sometimes the right show, the right time. As long as Jessica Reyes Padilla is not doing the show, you're good.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
showed up to Legion. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not first or second, so there's
well, you got in the top 10. That's pretty good.
yeah, yeah,
You
I did. I
know,
was happy with that actually. That was
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I think remember, a lot of competitors, they first shows they don't do as good. You're always going to be the bottom next to last. But then it's like I said, the process, the time to grow and develop, especially with older women, you hit that muscle maturity. Now you're like you're 36. And another like one example I would look at, Andrea. She was like in her late 30s when she finally became Miss Olympia. Now she's 41. You look at people who are much mature that time to take that process. I've seen ladies in their 50s, close to their 60s, look in better shape than I do, and still maintain that shape. I mean, it's a lifestyle, and it's something that you have to understand. I mean, it's a lot of work to it, and most people, like I said again, don't have the aptitude, the discipline, and the motivation to do that work. Especially, like I said again, you're helping your husband with his business, you're taking care of 4 babies, and you're also working. You're still doing training other people too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all online, which is nice. I don't have a lot of interest in doing in person. It takes away from my training and my family, and the goal is to mitigate that as much as possible. So online works really well. And since the whole pandemic, that's what people want. I get more requests for online coaching than anything else, so that works out well.
Yeah, because I know that's where my mom passed away to the pandemic. She got the virus, and this is why I started doing my interviews because of that. Because doing the live streams and talking to ladies, and I remember the first time I got to meet a female bodybuilder. It was just a great opportunity. A friend of mine, he lives in another town next over here in North Carolina. He had an event, and I met some ladies. A couple ladies I became friends with on social media, did interviews with, and did my first bodybuilding show was Savannah in 2022, and I got to go there, and I met Alina Popa. I met some other ladies. A while back, Rashana Boswell was down here in North Carolina. She was doing a
I've been
seminar,
there.
and I got to meet
Mhm.
her. It was a great opportunity to meet the amazing women in the sport and the people in the sport. And I get to learn more and more. I mean, yes, I'm a fanboy. I was so excited when I got to meet. I was just okay, calm. But it's a process when you use interviews and talk to your ladies. Here we got my man here, Timeless Win. He has a comment. He says, shout out to him. He says, Crystal is the best physique of a legendary
Oh,
goddess. I'll tell you, Crystal. Hey, Crystal, I'm telling you this. I tell you, like, Chris, hey, it's like the episode of Chappelle Show when Charlie Murphy meets Prince and he's hanging out with this guy Nikki Free, and the guy like said, hey, yo, George got a new girl. She finds a motherfucker. They get excited. So, so and oh yeah, he got one more. He says, says, I love you tattoos, Crystal. And I see you
oh,
get tattoos. How
I
long have
do.
you been having tattoos?
What was that?
How long have you been having tattoos?
All right, let's see. So I first started with a half sleeve, and that's been probably 15 years now. And then I just slowly added to it. This was the last piece I added, I think right before nationals, actually. Been what, 3 years? And we're gonna keep going. I'm not gonna do this arm. This is my good arm. Obviously, I lose some lines and some striations and things over here, so I don't want to touch this yet. But I've got plans for some other ones shortly.
I think the best advice is not to do one on your back, because especially if it's large tattoos. Here's my personal opinion. I'm not a big fan of tattoos. I don't have none of them. I wouldn't want anybody to drag. No, that's not me. But I
Yeah, you don't do
know,
it. Feels good.
yeah, but I know parlays who do have them. Some say they have this cut back because they know that sometimes that ink can take away the detail of the
Right.
muscle, especially when you look at the shoulders, and most definitely the figure competitor. Your shoulders are the most important part. You want that round capness. You want to see the details. But now for the judges that got a little smart on it, they don't penalize you as much. But like I said, to each their own. This is one more from my man, Timeless. It says, shoulders and biceps look insane. So thank you, brother. You missed the flex. When you want to watch the flex, it's back in the video. Check it out. Rewatch it if you want to see it.
Only
You
get
know,
one.
yeah, you only get one, guys. If you want to watch her, like I said, the links to her social media is in the description. I tell you guys, you want to see his flexes, that's where you can go. I don't usually ask for flexes because I saw Joe's comment. I didn't really read too well. I just quickly pull up and you just ask for flex. I usually don't like to bother you out with flexes because I know it's a lot to do. Who's that you're pointing at?
I thought it was a kid. This is my husband, Eric. Come here.
Oh, come
Say
here,
hi.
son. Come on,
Hey.
son. Hey, tell me, son, do you love this woman?
Oh my goodness, more than you'll ever know.
Oh.
Before you go, I want to say to you,
Okay.
young man, I like to say thank you for your service. No, I say no, not thank you for your service. I appreciate the sacrifice you made for our country in the United States Army. I appreciate that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
You never, no, you owe me no thank you. You never have to thank me. I appreciate what you have done, and it's good to support this woman and stand by her. I know there's days where you got 5 women in the house, man. I feel sorry for you, son.
He needs it.
Yeah, I got a really manly dog.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. And so it's like a man and a half. So okay,
Right.
But thank
you
you,
go.
brother. You know, and appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You got a good man. You got a good man.
I do. Got a good one. Keeping him.
Yeah. I know. You too. He said, yeah, you got a good man. Most women were like, I tell you, the women say they'll probably cut your throat, throw you down a well for your man. So, especially it's hard to find a good one. But yeah, it's good that he stand by you, he supports you. Because when I talk to ladies, especially family members, to understand what's involved in this sport. Because, like I said, the streamer bodybuilder, like your parents might say, like, especially your dad says, "Sweetheart, I already got two. I already got a boy. I don't need another girl." Your daughter, your mom will be saying, "Sweetheart, you get too muscular. I don't know. You think you're that kind of man, or."
Nope, I get it. Not from my dad passed away a couple years ago, and my
I'm so
mom
sorry.
never looked at it that way. Actually, I'll brag on my dad for a second. He could barely move. He could barely walk. He can't breathe. And he still showed up to both of my first shows while he was still alive, barely making it to the very front row. He drove, I think it was 5 hours to Oregon for my first show and drove back the same night because he had to get home on his oxygen and all the things. So shout out to Dad. He was very, very supportive. Very supportive.
Well,
but
rest in peace to him, yeah.
Thank you. You get that a lot. Why would you want to look like that? My sister, so like, how big are you going to get? Like, I don't know. I'm not done yet.
Yeah. Well, tell your sister, say, hey, why don't come to the gym with me and work it out? You see how you do, get them motivated into it.
A few times.
Yeah. That's the thing is, it is tough. And, family understand it, people, society's view on it, but this is about you and what you want to do with your life. You found something that you're a passion for. I know there's not a lot of money in bodybuilding, unless you're the lucky few, like you're the top competitors like a Samson Dew, a Chris Bumstead, Andrea Shaw. You can make a living for it. Sponsorship does help. Other than Chris, other than Eric, have you had other sponsors interested in you?
I'm lucky enough. My suits are sponsored by Raw. She provides me with beautiful suits. Shane's very, very particular about the cut, and she actually custom made an entire new pattern to suffice with what he wanted on my suits. She's amazing. And then I actually have a local guy. His name is Tony Giovanoni, and he's an old bodybuilder. He was Mr. Reno back in like 2007, and he can't compete anymore. So he sort of lives his dream through me, and he has sponsored me, I think, with $3,500. He sent me to nationals. That was how I got there. So that's just a huge blessing. He's obviously become a close friend of the family. Outside of that, no, I just have my sugar daddy paying for all my stuff so I can keep doing this.
Yeah, sugar daddy. That's the thing. Yeah, sponsorship does help if you can get the right people to back you. But sometimes, Chris, you have these weird guys out there that say, "Hey, Crystal, yeah, I saw your last show. So if I do something for you, no. This is I say like this. If I could sponsor somebody, I say, Mrs. Garcia, we are particularly interested in you. We find your story about how you got into bodybuilding, your life with your husband, you're a mother of 4 children. That's very interesting. So I'm a company and I'm interested in maybe sponsoring athletes. So if you're particularly interested in being part of our company and be a brand ambassador athlete, we'd like to offer you opportunity. It's up to you. If you feel like that product helps in working your process, we're glad to do anything you need from us. And same thing, we have a good relationship with you. So, ma'am, if you're ever interested in it, just let us know and we'll set everything up for you in the future.
Those are the ones I need. I get a lot of the other ones and I'm like, what? Why do you want to do that? Why do you just want to cash out me stuff? And then I learned why. But I need the real ones.
Yeah, it'd be great to have that because I know the thing is that the views of it, they're gonna have this one side again. The people who don't like the sport. The other side, you might the guys might like it too much, a little weird, But like anything, it's good that you have your friend, who helps you out. You're good to have, Eric that does that, and other people, your designer, and people that support you. Because like I said again, it's tough sport, And I'm going to do live tomorrow. We'll talk about how I wish there was more like assistance for competitors, especially just saw Harold Trevino just had surgery. My friend Keith had surgery. He's lucky enough that he has some kind of support. Hella has to do a GoFundMe, and I know it's just a lot. And now you're IFBB Pro. There should be some benefits. Like, okay, if something happens to you, especially you have kids, you get hurt, get sick, you have some kind of assistance. You pay a pro card every year. What's the point of paying those fees if they don't provide anything for you as an athlete? Like I said again, we don't come to see the judges, the promoters, the sponsors. We come see you competitors. And if anything, you're an investment. Most sports and athletes have that.
You're right. And actually, that's something I hadn't really looked at before. If you compare it to any other sport, the athletes are compensated except in bodybuilding. That's interesting. I think a lot of us don't get into it, probably the majority of us don't get into it with that expectation of any sort of monetary dispense from it. It's just a passion. Maybe it's a hobby that turns into a passion or, whatever it is. But you can't do well with bodybuilding without absolutely loving it. It doesn't work that way because it's a lifestyle. You don't just train or just eat the right things. It's your sleep. It's your whole day revolves around this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to be a complete athlete. It's rest, recovery, diet. Going maybe get a massage every now and then. I mean,
Your body.
those are working on your body, working yourself, and also make sure you take care of your mental aspects. Because I think one thing about it that we talk about is our issue with body dysmorphia, post-show blues. Because when you get those shreds, and then you start getting more soft and doughy, and then dealing with holidays where when your kids, even though your kids say they like eating what you eat, but when they go to grandma's house and she cooks ham, turkey, and everything, and tuna casserole, they're gonna want to eat that. But you can't because you're on prep. You bring your own food. Sometimes friendships have changed because it's something different they don't understand. There's so much that's involved in it. And yes, it's a hobby, but also some people take it as their job or their career. Those are the lucky ones who are sponsored and paid and make money.
Yeah. Yeah, and you touched on holidays, which is something that is really interesting. Nationals was in December, so I was prepping through Halloween. I really wanted the candy, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the holidays, right? This year, I really implemented, because there are times where we'll sit down at the dinner table and I've made my family something else. So I sit down with my Tupperware and eat my chicken or fish, whatever it is. On holidays, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm just a mom and I'm just a wife. We always host. And so this year I put the Tupperware away and I told my family, okay, today I'm here. That doesn't mean I need to eat like an asshole and eat a whole pie. I was still somewhat diligent and focused on protein and things like that. But it was so nice for them to just see mom just be normal, eat the same food, eat the same plate. Is the one day out of the year going to ruin my off season? No. No. If you're in a prep setting, then obviously you can't do that. But outside of that, I think that's a really important, healthy thing to do for relationships with your family. Don't be a bodybuilder on Christmas, not on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's tough, because in I think in a couple of weeks, no, this week from now, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic is supposed to start. They're going to do the amateurs. That's that first week, the last week of February, and then the first month of March is supposed to be the Arnold. I was a fan of his when I was growing up, watch his movies and like Arnold and but I'm not a fan of his politics when it comes to the divisions like women's bodybuilding, physique, and figure. How he cut them out of the show. But yeah, you have to be a mom. You have to enjoy those little times of life. I know eating the whole pie. Let me guess, pumpkin pie. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm from the South, man. It's sweet potato pie for us. We don't do no pumpkin.
Oh, that's right. I've had sweet potato. I do like that. That was my go-to. I ate so much turkey that hopefully I was sick. I didn't want to eat anything else, but I still did. I went for sweet potatoes and pumpkin pie. Happy girl.
Yeah, my mom used to make these cakes. It'd be like 4-layer cakes, chocolate jelly. I mean, used to love that as a kid. We have here my man Panther7. Shout out to him. He says, "Hello, brother George, beautiful Crystal, and chat. Hope all is doing well. Also, Crystal, what is something you would want to change or improve in the industry?" So, in your standpoint as a competitor, you haven't been pro but too long. What would you like to see change in the sport for your minds, for you, as for your opinion?
So we're talking a lot about the monetary portion of it and the money. And I think it would be nice, at least for athletes, to have more of an opportunity to make money doing this. Sandy Williamson actually talked a lot about this at the women's workshop. I didn't make it this year, but last year, there was an entire piece, a segment that she had focused on it would be nice for the athletes to be able to make a living doing this. And some of us do right now, but that's very far and few between. So it would be nice if there was more opportunity for that. I think that they do a good job really treating us like athletes, men, women across the board. I know that's discrepancy in a lot of other sports, the whole men and women thing. I think it's appropriate. The bodybuilders make a lot more money in their payouts than we do, and I think that they should. That's what people are there to see. When was the last time you talked to somebody who went just to see the figure division? I haven't, unless it's my friends or my family. And the bottom line is it comes down to who people are there to see. Those are the ones that should make more money. Doesn't bother me. Not inviting us to some of the shows is a different story. I would like to see that, but that's just a personal issue. Otherwise, just giving more opportunity to make money, to do this, more investment so that the rest of us don't have to have normal jobs if we're good enough. I'm also not a person that's give everybody a ribbon and hand it out. I think if you earn it and you work for it and you deserve it, then yeah, it should be there for you.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's like I understand that this is how I say it like this. If you know the Pippin game, the men's division, the men's open division is the bottom bitch. It's the ones that always get the attention, the money. Sassadoo can walk away with nearly $500,000, but Andrea Shaw gets $50,000. I wish she got a little more. All the competitors got a little more, especially I would like this. I would do this if I could do this. It's Jake, Jake, you are the man who saved women's bodybuilding. You brought it back to Olympia. You created the Rising Phoenix. She competed at the Arizona Pro back in 2023.
Yeah.
You could rise up Andreas and the other divisions up. Like you could cut maybe $100,000 check for the top competitors and break it down along the way. I mean, top 10 don't have to get at least everything. I mean, guys, it's sad. Even the guy in fifth place gets more than the winners like Chris Bumstead or Sarah or Sydney or any other competitors. But still, it's an investment into these athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Just as you saw recently, Triple Dynasty is coming up. That's going to be in April, and City put the prize money for figure for $9,000.
That's
That's a
the
big
highest,
shift.
aside from Olympia.
Actually, the highest actually is the Pittsburgh Pro. They
Okay.
put up $10,000. $10,000 for first, 7 for second, and third is $3,000. They don't have women's bodybuilding. They pick up men's bodybuilding. He's getting like $200,000. But hey, you don't want to buy any female bodybuilders? I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, cool. Let me be cool.
But they're valid points. Yeah.
Yeah. We have here, this is from man Lawrence, and he's going to finish this out. He says, good afternoon, Crystal, George, everyone on the chat. Thank you, brother, for coming through. So we're not going to finish too much longer. She's busy lady. She got things to do, probably got clients, got babies to feed, got kids to feed. She got a sugar daddies in the garage with the dog.
Yeah.
So, but we do appreciate the time she gives us because, like I said, you ladies, like I said again, I respect who you are as a competitor. And also, like I said again, my other guy says, like, hey, Krista, you want to tell you something? You are beautiful. But you are a woman, an athlete, a mother, a wife. You're working a business, and you also help training people. And that thing is, people got to understand that. I said again, when we go to shows and we see our competitors, we don't understand what it took you to get there. The sacrifice you have to make, the hours of training, the dieting, the discipline and commitment to the sport that most people don't have. Some people, the first of the year, the new year, new me crowd, they're already done by the middle of February. But anybody who gets in sport and understands it, the aspects of it, and also who follow you ladies, be respectful. Like I said, I know you ladies get you silent, they get you, but understand these are women and athletes. This is someone's wife and mother, and understand what they put themselves through to get to this level.
Very sweet. Thank you.
Nah, don't call me sweet. I'm just an old muscle person with black buff chicks. So end it off. So this question I ask you: what would you want out of bodybuilding for yourself as a whole?
Well, we talked a little bit about like career goals, getting to Olympia, but I think there's things that are more important than that. Bodybuilding has done two things. And the first one is I have a self-esteem that I've never had before. Everybody has insecurities that we're working through, and we all do that differently, whatever they are. But my self-esteem and my confidence and the way that it translates into relationships and friendships, that is from bodybuilding. When you can do hard workouts and you can be disciplined and you can fight through the mental struggles of it, it makes you a different person. So I think that's the most important one. And the second one is it saved my marriage. Every marriage goes through hard seasons and ups and downs. That's part of the deal. We were in a pretty dark spot and we decided, let's get away from these coaching things. Why don't you coach me? Let's train together. We're both passionate about the gym. It wasn't, a power struggle on who's going to get more gym time or things like that. We've never really battled with that. So when Eric and I started training together and he started coaching me, it brought a whole new intimacy into our marriage that we really, really needed. So that wholeheartedly, I believe bodybuilding has saved my marriage, and it's put me on a whole different level of confidence and self-esteem that I don't think I ever would have had without it.
Well, yeah, because I know some ladies who got it too because they were dealing with either their abusive relationships, dealing with other psychosis. Some ladies dealing with food disorders, being overweight. Bodybuilding, like I said, it's a extreme sport, but there are some benefits to it. To change your life, healthy, ways to live. Doing wellness stuff here and there. I mean, a lot of people may not understand it because one thing people think about bodybuilding again is it's always a steroids thing, but that's just a very small factor to it. It's not the be all. Yeah, it's not the be all of it. Well, like I said again, if you don't follow the diet, you don't follow the plan, you don't work out, you don't train, you're not going to look like the next guy over here who looks like a Greek god. You're going to look like a Oompa Loompa. But you have to have dedication to it, understand what's involved in it. We have here a man, Lawrence. He's a I call him the female bodybuilder whisperer. He says, "Everyone take care. Everyone, I will watch the your interview, Miss Crystal. Everyone, stay humble and continue stay strong mentally, physically, and spiritually. Yes, because bodybuilding it can be a sport that can drain your mental, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual, the financial. It can take a lot out of you. But like I said, if you're dedicated to something, you have a purpose. You follow in the idea. No one can really stop you. Or to quote one of my favorite actors, well, not too much favorite because of politics, it's Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa says, it's not matter how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can take the hits and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Yo, Crystal. So, yeah. So, like I said, I'd like to thank you for your time, ma'am. I wish you all the best. Like I said, I know the plan was legions. I will mention this on my live stream. Because I saw they drop, even they drop figure for the. I live in North Carolina. Charlotte Pro was like a good 100 miles from me. Even drop figure from Charlotte Pro. That's crazy.
Oh, I didn't notice. See, that's what I'm talking about. We're down at least 10 shows this year. That's just state.
See, one of my quotes again from my movie, I love the whole Batman trilogy. And as I remember, Ra's al Ghul told Bruce Wayne, be aware of surrounds all time, Master Wayne. Never give a shield pulling for a killing blow. So I learned to be now you give me some education. Now I'm aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, folks, I'd like to thank guys that was here. Timeless, Joe Camp, my brother Panther 7, my brother Lawrence Perkins, my man Stephen Pray, my brother Exe Gucci, sorry, not Exe, he's not here. I thought he was here. KL the Wanderer. If you want to watch the interview which she did with KL, it's in the link of this description of the live stream. Check it out. If you want to follow her, her link is also here in the description of the live stream. If you are interested in supporting her, if you're someone out there who is a sponsor, who just reach out to these, like I said, men and women in the sport can use some kind of support. If it's just be a friend, hey, keep going, do what you got to do, or just hey, you got a few bucks to help out here and there. Maybe, like I said again, if you know her area and she's shopping somewhere, hey, if you want a grocery store, give her a discount. If she's getting coffee, knock off the price. Hey, pay for her gas. Do those little things that help in the long run. They really should appreciate.
California man, easy on the gas. You don't know what you're signing up for there.
I live. Our gas just went up to about maybe $4 here in North Carolina, so either way. But my car's still in the shop. I got to get it out. Damn, got it. But but yeah, we do appreciate Crystal for your time you're giving us, telling your story. Congratulations to your whatever you're gonna do this upcoming season. I mean, like I said, you had a plan already, but as my other guy said, sometimes you don't have a plan. I'm just a dog chasing cars. You never know when you get one. But we wish you the best of luck, and also best of luck to you also with Eric and his business.
Thank you so much. Thanks, George. This has been fun. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on here and all the questions, and it's always a good time. Thank you.
Well, again, this is from again. I love the whole Chris Nolan Batman trilogy. When it's at the end of Batman Begins, when Jim Gordon said to Batman says, "I forgot, I never get a chance to say thank you," and Batman turned around to him and said, "You never have to. That's why I do this. This is my purpose to give you ladies a voice that no one else is giving to you, other than a few like my man KL, there's the female Batman channel. Saw Dion Spice says he's retiring. You know, good riddance. And also my man David Bryan. He also does content about you ladies. And you know, we are fans. And whatever someone says, you know, you can put certain groups in it, but it's us who are we fans to give y'all ladies a chance to share your voice. You know, not enough people are giving y'all. If you look at it, most time you're on social media, especially on like interviews, everybody want to talk to the bikini girls or the men bodybuilders, but you women in figure physique, you know, the muscle divisions, I would say, y'all deserve just as much support, and y'all need the opportunity to share your stories.
Thank you.
Now, again, I appreciate that. So, folks, if you missed the video, you can watch it again. It's going to be on my YouTube channel. You want to follow Crystal? The link's in the description. Check her out. Also, check out interview with my man KL. We hope the best for her in the future. You know, whatever shows you want to do. Maybe in another 2 or 3 years, you might see her step on the stage with the big dogs right there. You know, maybe take the title away from Jessica Rae because you know she's either her or Jessica who's going to be the champion. Well, hell, we might even see Missy might take the title. You know, being Olympian, 2 different divisions. That'd be something. Yeah. Anyway, folks, appreciate your time. Thank you. Wish you best of luck in the rest of this week, and appreciate you, Crystal, and good luck. Anyway, this is your man all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't subscribe. Have a good afternoon, good evening, good luck, and God bless.